Picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near, look at him working, donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with her name. Nobody came. Father Mackenzie, wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved. All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Look at all the lonely people. Look at all the lonely people.
The Earth has seasons because its axis of rotation is tilted, a property it shares in common with some other planets in the solar system. It's tilted by an angle of 23.5 degrees to a line perpendicular to its orbital plane, shown here in green. Incidentally, the Earth shares this orbital plane with all the other planets in the solar system. From Earth, we see this plane as an imaginary line that all the planets and the Sun seem to follow through the sky. We call this line the ecliptic. Here we see the Earth on the 22nd of September, the autumn equinox, when the northern part of its axis is not pointing towards or away from the Sun, and day and night are exactly the same length. Next is the winter solstice, when the northern hemisphere is pointing away from the Sun. Following on is the spring equinox, when day and night are equal lengths again. Then we move to the summer solstice, the longest day in the northern hemisphere and the shortest in the southern hemisphere. And finally we're back to the autumn equinox again. The word equinox comes from the Latin words for equal and night, equi, nox. The final part of the story is that the Earth's orbit is not perfectly circular. In fact, the Earth's orbit is rather eccentric and elliptical, and during the northern summer, the Earth is furthest away from the Sun at 152 million kilometres, as opposed to 147 million kilometres during the winter, when it's closest to the Sun. So you can see that the Earth's axis is tilted in the same direction all year round. The seasons are caused by the Sun's energy hitting the northern or southern hemisphere more directly as it orbits the Sun on its tilted axis. So that's what causes the seasons.
You say you want a revolution. Well, you know, we all want to change. tell me that it's evolution. Well, you know, we all wanna change the world. But when you talk about destruction, don't you know that you can count me out? But you know it's gonna be alright. You know it's gonna be alright. You know it's gonna be alright. You say you got a resolution. Well, you know, we'd all love to see the plan. You asking for a contribution. Well, you know, we're all doing what we can.
To explain why the Earth has seasons, I will be using this grapefruit to symbolize the sun and this tennis ball to symbolize the Earth. This is terribly not to scale at all. For this to actually be to scale with this tennis ball as the Earth, I'd have to use a 24-foot U-Haul moving van to be the sun, and it had to be 0.4 miles away, and I'm sorry, I'm way too lazy to do that. So we all know the Earth rotates and revolves around the sun, but most people think it's hot in summer because the Earth gets closer to the sun. But how do you explain that when it's summer in California, it's winter in Australia? See, the seasons have nothing to do with Earth's distance to the sun. It has to do with the tilt of Earth's axis. See, this Earth doesn't spin like this. It spins on an angle, 23.5 degrees to be exact. So let's let this fancy colored pencil symbolize the sun's rays. So you can see that right now, the sun hits the northern hemisphere more directly than the southern hemisphere. That means it's summer up here and winter down here. As the Earth revolves around the sun and winds up over here, now the sun is hitting more directly down here. So now it's summer down here and winter up here. So to summarize, the tilt of Earth's axis in one word is...
Well, if you want money from people with minds that hate, all I can tell you is, brother, you'll have to wait. But you know it's gonna be alright. You know it's gonna be alright. You know it's gonna be alright. You say you've changed the Constitution. Well, you know, we'd all love to change your head. You tell me it's the institution. Well, you know, you better free your mind instead. Well, if you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you ain't gonna make it with anyone anyhow. But you know it's gonna be